And we are back after a pretty fun Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah, I liked it.
Not for the first half. First half was relatively mundane. There was some stuff going on. But then that last quarter of that race was pretty freaking fun. Not the craziest race. A lot of the same storylines ended up playing out, but it was in like kind of a cool way. We mixed it up a bit. It wasn't like Max dominated the whole time. There was some threats,
Big time.
Max comes out pretty hot off the start to start the race. There's a little contact with Lewis and Carlos. And then Max is pretty much in the lead for the first half pretty comfortably. We had Carlos coming in at lap 15 and Ferrari they do it again.
They only have 3 tires ready. They pit him. They call for pits and they don't even tell the rest of the crew get a tire ready. Like that was something. And then even better, Checo runs over their tire gun that's hanging out in the middle of the way on the way out. Love that.
They could have ruined Checo's race with that. That's very lucky for Checo that there wasn't any floor damage.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah. So just Ferrari being Ferrari. We'll talk about what we can expect at their home race coming up. But just another terrible showing for Ferrari. After Carlos comes in, looks like he's going to be on the podium. And then I think he came out in like 11th. And that was just completely out the window. We had a really good race from Lewis. Lewis was able to get Checo. We had that really fun battle, like right around the middle of the race. That's all.
The hards just worked. Lewis just swapped to hards before the rest of the field, or maybe there was 2 cars. The Alpine might have been on it at the time, and I think Alonso was climbing through the pack. And Lewis was giving us like a Brazil performance like last year, and he was going through. I personally had money involved in Lewis. I would have gotten a nice payday if Lewis won, so I was really hoping for that. That was a big time bummer, but I think you guys see the whole bullshit conspiracy that Red Bull had Yuki fucking go out again.
Yeah, that's all horseshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's just typical Team LH, Lewis Hamilton 44. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah. It was the first time that I've heard him complain that I was like, this guy has legitimate gripes, though. I was on Team Lewis for that one in terms of him getting screwed over by Merck with that. That was ridiculous. Like,
and they wouldn't have let Valtteri do that last year. Like, oh, you go on a different tire than Lewis? No chance. But George, go on the softs, George. What did he say? You totally fucked me. I'm beyond pissed or something like that.
And, something like that.
He had every right to be.
He deserved to be.
Yeah, that's the moment the race really changed. I think it would have been a very mundane, boring race if Yuki doesn't have that incident. I mean, he comes out, he's in his Yuki tone, his Yuki voice, yelling at his engineers, tire isn't tight, something like that. And then they just leave him out there. They say, no, Yuki, it's fine. So the miscommunication there is massive. The engineers are saying the tire's fine. Yuki's saying it's not. I think it probably wasn't fine. He goes back. No, I mean, pits.
Dude. Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
He goes back into the pits. They get him new tires, and then they send his act back out there. And then within 3 laps,
he was unbuckling out of the car. He was like, "This is not drivable. I'm done." And they were like, "Get back in there." They buckled him back in and sent him back out. He's like,
maybe that's where people are getting the whole conspiracy from.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
I mean, no, it's a weird situation where it's like, why do you send them out? And their only thing is like, oh, well, we thought it was good. Everything looked good. And it's like, well, your driver was saying like he knew it was bad enough to unbuckle out of the freaking car. I don't know.
And
it's weird.
It shows a lack of trust in the driver. Like if the driver feels like this car isn't safe and my left front is loose, that's one, dangerous for their guys on the grid to have a rogue tire flying around, and it's dangerous for him. So it was crazy. It was just one of the weirdest things I've seen happen all season, for sure. Maybe one of the weirdest things I've seen, where you have a driver saying that you come in and he's literally in the pits. They're in there. It's taking like 30 seconds. It's like he has no chance in this race. Just retire the freaking car.
Yeah.
So just a weird incident after that, and then everything kind of switched up from there because you have everyone able to go get new tires. So Max gets new tires, George gets new tires, Lewis gets new tires. And then from there, that's like probably where we're going to end up, right? That top three seems like it's pretty locked in. And then another safety car for Valtteri.
Right.
And that really throws another wrench in the strategy for Red Bull and Mercedes, really.
Yeah, Max, I think he pitted a third time to put on another set of softs just to hold off behind him.
Yep. Yeah, he had 2 Mercs behind him. So the podium might have been shaken up if we had kept going. I think Lewis was doing pretty well. George was on Max's ass. But after Valtteri crashes, or I didn't even crash, the car had to retire.
I think it was another DNF, yeah.
Yeah. Those freaking Ferrari engines, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, after that, I mean, first of all, without that yellow flag with Valtteri, dude, I don't know if Max is winning that race, quite frankly. I mean, I remember thinking the entire time he was on lap 27, 28 with those mediums, and like Lewis was gaining on him like crazy. Like all signs are pointing to Mercedes to, with pace and everything to come and catch him. And obviously use that to be like, okay, I'm going to pit and get softs here. Like, this is the time, now or never. And the whole time you're just like, man, just get softs on and you can win this race. And I think I remember at one point Max telling the crew, like, no, I'm going to stay out here. Like they were saying, do you want to pit and put softs on? He's like, no, I'm good. And then like 10 laps later, he's like, okay, maybe that was a bad idea. Like maybe, like he was a rare Max sort of second guessing himself type of incident, but worked out for him again.
Yeah. You have George making the same call, like on his own. George made that call, put on sauce. I don't know why Lewis didn't do the same. Maybe he just didn't have enough time to react. But yeah, Lewis
I was wondering about that,
and
dude.
Stays on hards.
Did he? But like, is that a Mercedes issue or is that a Lewis issue? Like to me, he was pretty pissed. Like
you should.
To me, that seemed like a Lewis. Like it seemed like a Mercedes should get him in there and pit.
George called his tires, and that's like when Carlos does it. But like your strategist is supposed to give you the right tires.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah. He has every reason to be pissed. I mean, like you guys said, there's a good chance he wins that race, and that does a lot for him in the standings. And I just think for confidence, like
hurts my wallet too.
Yep, hurts our wallets. I had a bet on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we
take him on the, what did you take him on the bet?
It was like
Lewis to win. I think it was.
I think it was plus 850 when I took it.
Like that. It was high.
I'd take that.
It's looking goddamn good too.
It was looking amazing.
It was looking. I'm telling you, dude.
That's just how
I'm really
goes,
telling
though.
you. Without that pit,
You never be confident in a bet in this Formula One sport. You can't be
unless it's betting Max.
Yeah, and then even that, the things will find a way. But it's hard to find out.
I'm coming out here and making a comment. Unless if Red Bull has like an engine failure, Max won't finish outside of the podium for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we had a point last. I texted everybody on Sunday in the morning, and Chip said knock on wood, but I said there's a chance Max doesn't lose for the rest of the season.
That would be insane. Could go out
and party.
Like if he doesn't lose, like if he doesn't not get,
he's saying win every race.
Like win every race possible. I mean, absolutely.
I think it'd be long odds, but not that crazy.
The only thing I want to see is if he outscores Checo and Carlos by 3 points every race, or Checo and Charles, 3 points of the next 3, he wins it in Japan. He brings a title to Japan with Honda. Oh, that would be a first time back in Japan and like since COVID. That'd be incredible. I want to see that so bad.
That's something to look forward to. Yeah.
I mean, he can go out and party. Who his fiance or his girlfriend is a baby mama to what driver?
Kvyat.
Yeah, so he's gonna go party out with Kvyat's fucking sloppy seconds and still win every single race. Could come in sleepy, one eye.
It's impossible. This is his championship. No matter, I think it's pretty much impossible for him to lose this. He would have to DNF like 4 races, right?
Yeah.
More.
Yeah. Carl, to your point of him being able to do whatever he wants and still win, Albon said the other day that the dude plays FIFA before qual. He's just sitting on the PlayStation, just playing FIFA in his trailer.
I love it.
Ice cold.
Why not?
The real person that I think just needs to be feeling like insane amounts of pressure. It all falls into Mr. Charles Leclerc.
Yeah,
Like I just feel like there's not
sad.
as much pressure across the entire
season's over. I
paddock.
don't even think he feels pressure at this point. I think he's probably so fuck it with this season. He has to just be mentally. He's probably like, okay, I'll go and try and win some races, but like I have been so fucked. His confidence has to be really shot right now.
Hey, I said it when they went on summer break, and he made that post. It had some cheesy ass pickup line on his post, and he was on like some Wally 45 in somewhere in Monaco, and it was like, that's it, his season's fucking over.
Yeah, why would he like, he should be invested in the season, but like he's got to just be like focused on himself right now, do what I can, and know that like things have to, like he has to go into this off season and put his foot down and be like, you guys need to change the things.
But it's like, how does the quarterback of a football team go out and win if the offensive coordinator and the head coach are calling the opposite plays of what you should be playing? Calling. You know what I mean? It's like,
he's in an
I feel like that's
situation.
what Charles is being handed every bad play call that you can have.
A bad
engine,
a bad engine,
bad strategy, I mean, it's like everything is just fucking up for that. Always.
Here's
when you give him a clean car in a clean race, he wins, or at least he gets a clean qual when he starts in first, and then Ferrari finds a way to fuck it up or the engine dies.
Yeah.
So there's been, I would say, one or two. There's one race where it was 100% his fault when he spun out. That's all on him. But other than that, I would say most of these races have been bad luck or bad strategy. It's insane. So yeah, he's I don't know what his mindset's at. I would
tell me this. This is my push. Can Lewis Hamilton make up the gap to second?
Yeah, absolutely.
He can do that in the next
I absolutely think he can. He's already making that push right now.
I want to see it.
I would love to see
43. It's 43 points.
Yeah, that's very possible.
100%, dude. You watch him, and who mentioned it the other day? Like, watch him win one race and watch out for the rest of the field.
If Lewis wins two, that's a sneaky title fight again.
I mean, it's gonna be, that once that dude catches a stride, it's gonna be tough to stop.
How many races do we have left in the season? We have,
I think there's 8,
Italy,
7 or 8.
Russia,
7 or 8.
No, we don't have Russia. Don't count Russia.
Oh, no, Russia's out.
Yeah,
Russia screws the season up. We talked about it earlier. Russia screws. I think we have a 3-week break because of Russia.
7.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah,
7. I mean, it's not mathematically impossible, and we almost just saw him win the last race. So I'm not saying he's out of it.
Yeah.
Remember when you guys were like, nah, it's all about George Russell.
It is all about George Russell.
Oh, shut the hell up.
No, keep going.
Shut up, dude. It is not about, no.
This doesn't
I'm
change
with Carl.
it not being about George Russell.
I'm with Carl.
I mean, listen, it's in the
I
second
don't think
half
the
of the
team
season
favors anyone at this point.
Yeah,
I
agree
mean,
to
let's
that.
stop
I think they'd let him
pretending
go
like
at
George
it.
Russell is all of a sudden some scrub. Like, dude,
They let George go
he's
get his
been
ass
right
in the
there
sauce.
the entire time. He's doing better than Lewis.
George made the right call and went and got his ass last race.
Right,
like, I'm
exactly.
sure Lewis wasn't thrilled about that move. So, I mean, I think they'll let those guys go at it all day. I don't think Toto favors anybody. I think Toto probably looks at George as like, you're my cash cow for the next decade. And then he looks at Lewis and he's like, I love you. You've made me insanely rich, more money than I could ever imagine. But I got to focus on this young guy who's going to keep making me money. So.
That's true.
He's talking about him like Seabiscuit.
Yeah, I think he loves both guys, but he definitely, there's been moments in the season where he's got a little love affair for George. It's almost like the way that Christian looks at Max. Yeah,
right.
Similar to that. So there's a twinkle in his eye. So
both have done very, very well here in different stages.
Yeah.
Well,
I do.
I mean, I think, yeah, I genuinely think the title fight, well, I can't say this, but it's just a battle for second. I think Mercedes holds the power dynamic right now. I think if this next race in Monza does not go well for Ferrari.
Yeah, what is the constructors looking like? I haven't checked.
I don't think it's even close.
Red Bull is winning by a mile.
Oh, you mean in second?
Yeah, for second.
Oh,
battle
sorry.
for second.
Because I mean, the season, I think the way this season's going and just the storyline of this season and how it will play out, I think Ferrari could easily lose.
So Mercedes,
Merck's up their ass.
Merck is right up Ferrari's ass right now. They're back by 30 points.
Oh,
That's
Ferrari's gonna lose.
That this weekend for
that would
Ferrari,
be so bad.
Matteo Binotto is going into this next race like, oh my god, my life. No,
I don't think he is.
I don't think they fire anybody there.
Ever. It seems like you can get away with murder over there.
He could probably stab Charles Leclerc and still keep his job.
So Nico was criticized. Nico, everybody's favorite commenter, love him to death. He was criticized. He said F2 and F3 have better pit stops than Ferrari, and
he was absolutely right.
And Binotto came out and said, like, "Well, we don't get rid of our people." Like, okay, what does that prove? Like,
yeah.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, not having a different result.
Yeah. So
that is
Enzo Ferrari's family is just keeping every single person in their position apparently. So
that's what happens with these legacy families, man. They always screw it up. I mean,
they're just gonna start investing in more into Le Mans.
I mean,
and Audi start to come into the mix and shit, we're not the only one racing pedigree now.
Yeah, and we said it last week, man. I mean, this is a fan base not to be fucking with, dude. Like, you're talking about one of the most passionate fan bases in all of sports.
I hope
this is not a
Binotto gets literally the tomato treatment in Italy.
He actually might, dude. Like I guarantee you, he walks in there with more security than normal.
There will be threats on his life,
like a ref at a Mexican soccer match. That has to be escorted out so he's not getting hit by beer bottles. Like legit that type of stuff.
Italians can be incredibly rude, and they are going to have a field day on this guy.
Incredibly rude. I agree.
They are going to absolutely rip this man apart, and I'm here for
eat his lunch, dude.
There goes a third of our viewership.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he has to go. We've been saying it. I don't even want to keep saying it. I don't want to dwell on Ferrari anymore, but it's hard not to when they just continue to do it week in and week out. There's no signs of hope. Zero signs of hope.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want silly season update?
I have silly season still popping off a bit, huh?
Yeah. So Porsche Red Bull is off. Done. Not happening.
I saw that.
Porsche's not entering Formula One because they wanted half of Red Bull, and Helmut Marko said you cannot have half of Red Bull. So Honda will be back officially. And yeah, so hopefully Honda and Red Bull win a ton of titles.
So does
have you ever met a Porsche driver?
Let's say it.
What'd you say, Carl?
Have you ever met a Porsche driver? Of course they would ask for half.
Yeah. Michael Fassbender, the racer, races for Porsche in GT endurance racing. Like the dude who plays Magneto.
Yeah, that's
what?
Yeah, he races.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Awesome.
You should check that out. That is awesome. That's crazy. That's sick.
That is pretty cool. Is Porsche out of F1? They will not be entering into F1, or they are not
unless they buy like Lawrence Stroll's team. They cannot enter through Red Bull. Which, I mean, if Aston Martin doesn't turn it around, they could easily just buy that. And I mean, the Sauber Audi deal isn't 100% either. So maybe Saudi has cold feet with that, or Saudi, Jesus Christ. Maybe Sauber backs out of that a little bit and says, I'd rather work with Red Bull than Audi. So Porsche than Audi. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
To see. That's going to be interesting.
And then just Pierre is going to Alpine as long as Colton Herta could get a super license exemption.
I mean, Pierre was caught
wanna-
on a hot mic saying, yeah, everything, the contract's done, it just needs to be signed.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. I want to make this point with Wes on Alpine real quick before we move on. But with Piastri,
Yep.
Do you think that there's any
Fuck that.
where McLaren stands right now and looking where Alpine stands right now and being like, maybe I shouldn't have sent that tweet. Maybe I should have maybe I should have stayed with Alpine. Like, I mean, just looking, I'm thinking right
Lando's
now,
doing
like
good
where
though.
I stand. He's doing well. You know, I don't know. It's just like Alpine's doing pretty damn well too, man. It's just, it's not like, I mean, it's worth posing the question. Like, you know, is something that I mean, Alpine is
Alonso did it.
They're going to be fighting he's going to be fighting either one of those. Like, those two teams are going to be fighting next year most likely.
Yeah.
So that's your direct competition.
All right, Carl, let's hear some anti-Piastri.
I think Piastri is more so looking at what daily driver he's gonna get. And he's like, dude.
I'd probably
the daily driver.
That's
you might be right.
That's a very good take.
He's
I saw one of those today, and I was like, dude, yeah, I mean, like, I would join McLaren if I could get one of those. And it's like,
he didn't want a Renault Clio.
The hell are you gonna drive over there?
Yeah.
Shit box.
I also bet he doesn't want to drive with Esteban Ocon because no one seems to want to drive with Esteban Ocon.
Oh.
Every time someone's names get brought up, that someone says they don't want to drive with the guy.
Mick wants to drive with Esteban.
Yeah, Mick and him are boys, but I guess that's why. Who else was rumored to be going there? Well, Danny definitely doesn't want to drive with him. They definitely don't like each other.
Danny said he's gonna be a reserve driver or just gonna sit, which stinks, but
yeah,
he just got bought out. He can sit there and do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, he'll be in New York City doing GQ mags. So
yeah, exactly.
I hope Colton Herta gets the Alpines or the Alpha seat because Horner said what we're all thinking. It'll be great for the U.S. market, but I guess the only reason the fucking super license points exemption or like that you need an exemption exists right now is because of Max. He had like little to no experience in F2, F3. And then he ended up winning races at 16. So they just don't want that to be the norm. So that's why there's a reason. I don't know. I think they should give him an exception. Colton Herta's won like, I think 3 races in Indy this year, and he's definitely the front runner. So get some Americans in here.
Yeah, I think it's not as much of a sure thing as we think, because it looks like Alpine is testing out another guy this weekend. I don't know if that's a move just to make Pierre not feel so comfortable and like a leverage move in the contract negotiations and everything. But they have a guy driving, this guy named Villanueva.
Yeah, he's driving FP1 for them,
he's
right? He's
driving FP1 this weekend.
Well, every team has to once they need to let a rookie, and I don't know if they have yet. And they're definitely not going to let Piastri do it. So I wouldn't read that much into that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes out. Like we said, I really hope Herta's in the sport next year. So would it be him and Yuki?
Yeah, and I think they'd kind of give Yuki that leadership role. I mean, he's definitely showed improvement year over year, and he's proven himself in other series. And the Alpha car is not that great this year, but Yuki's still in the points running more times than not. So I don't know. I think Yuki gets a little bit of a pay bump, and they give a little more responsibility to him, and they'll probably keep him in Italy because that dude just plays FIFA all day and fucks off. But
yeah. So after those moves fall into place, it seems like the driver grid is for next year is pretty locked in, right? Unless something happens with Mick.
Yeah, that Haas Mick seat hasn't been figured out. Fernando's seat. Yeah, and Goat Tiffy is apparently they're like letting him prove himself, and they like what they see, so they're not making a decision.
What really, man? Yes. I get actually angry about it.
That's like a real
for
quote.
Some reason I'm like getting really fucking mad about this.
I like it. It's situation. A meme. Maybe they like.
I know,
but it's ruining other guys' race.
Normally I'm all about the meme things. Normally I'm all on board with that. For some reason, this is really pissing me off. Like,
the best.
How is this dude still fucking in this?
I'll look. You guys go. I'll look up the quote from Yost Capita.
I do, but to Kel's point just now, we said it last week. This dude is occupying one of the 20 most coveted seats in sports, let alone
DNFing guys like at
on
least,
Williams.
And DNF, like he's out there like a kamikaze, just freaking taking guys out. Like he crashed in a freaking in a safety car lap. What is this? Williams, get your shit together.
Yeah, the
need
guy.
Claire back.
My God,
he's got to be statistically like I would love to look at like who over the last like 20, 40 years has like the worst gap to their teammates, like the most DNS. Like he has to be
the worst driver of all time.
What about if you looked at it, how many times a driver has been lapped in Formula One? He's got
how many times
I'll bet he has more. He's been lapped more than any other driver.
And then go a step further. How many times has Lewis Hamilton lapped Nicholas Latifi in their Formula One careers?
I bet he averages like half of the races the season. Lewis is lapping him.
I'll bet he's lapped him 100,000 times.
I bet.
I bet you he doesn't have a lot of friends on the grid because they probably look at the guy and there's a good chance you're gonna freaking kill me.
Yeah,
yeah, honestly.
Lewis,
stay away from that guy.
Lewis has to absolutely despise him.
Yeah,
he cost Lewis a title.
That one dude is single-handedly.
I mean, Valtteri must hate him after last week. Valtteri's like, dude, I was driving by you in a safety lap.
Like one of us.
Let's go off road.
Hold on.
Like let us compete.
What did you find a GOAT Tiffy compilation, Carl?
No, just continue. I'm just looking up his stats.
Oh God, I'd be so curious about this. Is Nicholas Latifi the worst driver of all time? Google search.
Yeah, but I think the big question for this weekend is not if Ferrari fans will be disappointed on their home turf, but how disappointed. Because the pace that Max is at right now, I don't think it's really going to get fucked with. It's just a matter of like, can both Ferraris put together a clean race for the first time in what feels like a very long time? And I think the answer is no.
I'm gonna say no, just like last week. No. At home.
Something's gonna get fucked.
Definitely.
I don't know what it's gonna be. Charles is still really fast, but it seems like they find a way to screw him over.
They'll probably pole and then
I was just gonna say, I'll bet they'll be on the starting grid. You might even see a like Charles 1, Carlos 3 or something like that. And then,
split Max, and then Max wins.
And Charles Max will get ahead.
Charles might end up in maybe second if best case, and then maybe like Carlos race gets ruined somehow, or it flips, or Charles gets screwed over, spins out. Something's gonna go wrong.
But it's like
go for it.
Sorry, I was quickly like just touching on earlier. Like again, if at this race with what's been happening this season, this fan base, how incompetent this team and has been, if they have a legitimate avoidable fuck up again, like I fear for Binotto and these guys trying to leave this track.
Yeah,
like without somebody needing to escort them out.
I want it to be like Woodstock 99, absolute madness.
Yeah,
I don't want these guys to feel safe. Yeah, I'm calling for that.
Dude, it actually might be. It's like pitchforks and all that, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
I want to be Limp Bizkit setting off the crowd into a frenzy.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Here's some Latifi stats for the boys. He has done 52 starts. He has crashed 9 times.
Oh,
that's almost 17%. He's going out.
GOAT.
Oh my God.
That's close enough to a fifth.
Say. Oh, did I tell you how many points he's accumulated in his career?
I'm gonna say 0.
1.
He's accumulated 7.
Ooh, that's 6 more than I thought.
But here's the fun fact: it's his grid positions. His lowest one is a 10th, and he's gotten 2 of them. His highest is starting 18. He's been there 15 times. Been in 19th 10 times, and he's been in 20th 7 times.
Oh my God.
King.
This guy literally knows the last grid slot better than anybody else.
He has seen every major wreck that there is. He's had a front row view to every major wreck that we've seen over the last 5 years.
Yeah, he can probably tell you some great stories about races.
Oh yeah, he'd be like, "Yo, you should have seen that one. You should have seen it from my vantage point."
He's going so slow he can enjoy every
Yeah,
part of
exactly, dude. So they're eating popcorn.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, let's get into predictions. I think we're going to be similar here. I think we're all going to be similar. I'll shut up with top 6 just because I feel like our podiums are going to be pretty boring. I'm going to go with Fernando's starting to be almost like not even a sexy pick anymore.
Yeah, I'd say he's
no, we had that last week.
Out of the top 3 teams, he should be the next man up.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Seb, which I think would need an absolutely wild race, but maybe we're due for one. Maybe we're due for absolute madness. I think we haven't had a really big crash where a lot of guys go out in a long time. So it seems to happen a few times a season, and the racing gods, maybe they give us something crazy after what's been a relatively boring stretch of races. So
I'm gonna go full wild card, and Jogon Yu is coming in 6th.
Ooh,
yes. That'd be awesome.
Great one. I would love that. That's great. I'm gonna go same team and go Bottas.
He needs it because man,
yeah, he needs it big time.
All right, Carl, who's top 6 for you?
It'll be Ocon.
I like that.
I hate saying it. So fucking boring.
He's been very consistent this year.
He just knows how to get in the way of the middle of the pack.
He does know how to do that.
He is sure.
He's the king of
he's
DRS train. He's the conductor.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And then podium, we're all gonna have the same guy winning, I think. Maybe not. I think I know who you're going with then.
No, you don't.
Okay. I'm going to go with Max wins another one. I think he's just going to start streaking. He's going to maybe set the record for the most wins in a row. Max,
Carlos
bounces back, Checo.
Fernando
Charles
Alonso
on the podium
is winning a race for the first time in a long time.
Who?
Yeah, I'm Fernando Alonso.
Where the fuck?
Yeah, I'm continuing the crazy Monza tradition. Danny won last year. Pierre Gasly wins the year before. I'm saying Fernando is winning this year. In 2nd, Carlos Sainz. And in 3rd, Lance Stroll is on the podium. There's going to be some first lap chaos. Lewis is going to try and do too much.
Charles is going to do too much. You should bet $10 on Lance Stroll podium and Fernando to win. If one of those happens,
I put 5 on Fernando last week, but I'll definitely put a little down on Lance too.
That is those might be the craziest picks we've had all season.
Is Monza doesn't it have an insane first turn?
It is the temple of speed.
Massive pile up.
That's where Lewis and Max got beached on top of each other last year because it's the straight and then it's literally a 90-degree into a left-hander.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see something fuck up.
All right, Carl, who do we got? Podium.
You know what? I'm gonna go somewhat similar to this. I'm gonna put Lando Norris in 3rd, Lewis in 1st, and I'll go Checo on podium.
So that implies a Max in Charles crash.
Contradicting, I think. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, actually, yes. You know what? Max is going to be on the outside. Charles is going to be on the inside, and you know exactly what's going to happen. Charles isn't going to give the room. Max isn't going to yield, and voila.
Okay. All right. Chip.
Max, Lewis, George.
Okay. Mercedes straight.
So Mercedes take the constructors P2 this race.
Cayenne into your pick, please.
I feel like we're up against it on the time. That's why I threw it out there. Nice and quick. Plus, that was my save. That was my save 1, 2, 3 last week, and I was this close to hitting it. So I feel like
it's close.
It might hit this week.
Yeah, well, let's hope we get a crazy Monza like we have for a while. So
I think the big one is, does Mick Schumacher make it across the line?
Yes.
yeah,
In the
Definitely.
points.
He's fucking crushing it, dude. I feel like he's about to continue going on a tear.
Yeah, he's done better than K-Mag since the break. So I hope he gets a seat. It would suck without him.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun race this weekend. Let's enjoy these while we have them before we got that long break in October. I think we're pretty dry on races in October. So let's enjoy September. This is our first weekend where we have football after a morning race. Is this a morning race for us? I hope so.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
again,
It's
I
a
think.
beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So let's have a weekend, fellas.